Rated T for Teen.
Brooktown High rocks your world all over again. Everything you wanted in high school with everyone you wanted to do it with. Jocks, nerds, preppies, and rebels. Everyone is here. Be yourself or create someone better. Hang out at the beach.
It's not easy being me.
Or better yet, get a job, punk.
I'm glad you think this is amusing.
Aw, you're so sweet.
Love is a game. How will you play it? Go on multiple dates, and if you're lucky, maybe you'll even get lucky.
I love you.
Going steady.
Shake your booty. Or undress for success with fast-paced minigames.
Off with the shirt.
Don't forget, being tardy is no party.
The hall monitor gotcha.
Crack the books and make the grade. Your future may depend on it.
Is it hot in here?
Ladies love presents.
You make me laugh.
This is high school the right way, your way. Make this senior year something to remember. Brooktown High.
That was great.
Oh, hey, do you know when Milky's coming back? Have you seen him?
A couple days.
Oh, really?
Korea.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Catch you later.
Yes.
I heard you were playing my song, dude.
Did you like that? Did you like that?
Did you like that shit?
I love this game. I bought this clarinet. It only cost me 20 silver. I only had 40, but it was so worth it. Now I can I can go up to people and just like go. Oh, this guy's playing with me now. Oh, that's awesome. We're jamming. Hey, what are you doing?
Stop playing that shit so we can talk about Crysis for a minute.
Pinata.
Dude, now he's just in full gate.
Don't do that again.
You can jump fences.
Don't do that
Are you
again.
serious?
Yeah, it's fine, man.
If I was strong enough, I would have torn it in two.
If you were strong enough to rip this, you need to work out a little more. You're having trouble with that.
In Crysis, you got a strength button. Your suit gives you strength.
Yeah.
All I would have had to do is click the center mouse wheel, roll the rosette, come over to Shrimp, and I would have torn him in two.
I actually don't get the whole suit thing with this game. It seems like the world's greatest cheat. Like, how's that going to work in multiplayer? Does everybody get a nano suit, or how does that work?
Everyone has the suit at all times, of course, and everyone has access to the same powers, and those are speed, strength, cloaking, and armor. The cool thing is speed is self-explanatory, but strength, in addition to being able to, you can grab someone, you can grab another player, or someone is using speed, and they're trying to get by you. You grab them real quick, and you got strength on, then you can throw them, or you can pick up like something in the environment, and then throw that at them. If you have strength, that will actually be like
Is that what you
lethal
use against
force.
vehicles? Would be strength.
If someone is in a vehicle in multiplayer and you want to, you can go all get a buddy and go all Hans and Franz on them, pump up with strength, and just go and punch the shit out of their fenders and stuff until the tires fall off. The cool stuff about the suit options are that everyone has access to them. At any given moment, they might be using in a different way. So say you were sprinting and then you got shot a few times and you're like ready to die. Then you switch to armor real quick and stop and hide. Then you're like, okay, I can get up there. I know there's a sniper rifle that spawns up there, so I'm going to switch over to strength, which makes you jump higher as well, leg strength. Jump up there, grab that, then switch over to cloak and stay still.
Can you switch that fast?
You can. The way they have it set up now is that you press the middle mouse key, and kind of like the Comrose in Battlefield 2 or something, and a bunch of other games use things like that. Oblivion does, and then you move your mouse in the direction. But you get used to switching it really quickly. But I do hope that they allow you the option to map to configure it the way you want. Like ideally, I would like to have like speed and strength on the mouse 4 and 5 or something, because those are the two I really like to use. Speed and get some momentum up, then go to strength and use the jump to like really fly. I mean, they're promising, of course, just tons of flexibility in the way that you implement your strategy, your tactics rather. So all of the guns you're able to outfit. You've seen the screens. You put silencers on them, scopes, laser pointers, and stuff like that. But you put different kinds of ammunition in them. Kind of a Deus Ex thing, but a little different.
It's interesting because this part of the game sounds so cool. All we've really heard about is just like how great it looks. I mean, most of the articles, even ones we've written, have just focused on the DirectX 10 aspect of it and just how amazing the graphics look. But like this part of the gameplay actually sounds pretty unique.
Yeah, if they get the full-on power struggle mode, and that's the one that has the vehicles and all the objectives and stuff, performing. I mean, it performs fine when I last played. It was working really well. But if they get it to all come together in the way they want, it could easily be like a Battlefield Killer or something. They could have sold it on its own, like a Quake Wars or something like that. And I mean, it just sounds phenomenal. Unreal Engine 3 was like the last big wow thing. Yeah. And then tons of games that look really, really good have come out since then, or they've been revealed. All the other games that use it. Yeah. But at that point, it's almost like as soon as the very first game using that engine comes out, as soon as Gears of War or whatever comes out, then you're like, okay, I'm used to this now. And Crysis is still like just about the only thing I can think of where you're still. I mean, not that looks good. There's plenty of games that look fantastic, but the one that really makes you, you're like, okay, wow, that is like a look at.
And this is one of those. But the thing is, like that alone would make me want to upgrade my machine or buy Vista. Like the game is going to have to rock itself. Yeah. If it looks great but plays like shit, who cares?
That's all that other stuff I was talking about. I mean, if they can, but of course it's just promise at this point. If they can get it right, if the AI is not completely stupid, if it doesn't turn out that the game is in actuality super linear and that all their promises of freedom and freeform tactics and stuff are false, I mean, I'm not too worried about it.
I mean, what we've seen though makes it seem like it's not going to be that way. That it actually is. I mean, it's looking pretty cool.
So you're excited to be playing with your old friends, Mustadio?
He's I don't know. I've kind of neglected his growth. He's not female. I'm making the pimp squad.
You're all about dancers.
A team of beautiful ladies destroying everything in sight.
Mustadio can go on the pimp squad. He's asexual or gay, or you can't charm Mustadio. I've tried.
Have you gotten to the character that breaks the game, makes it too easy yet?
Not yet.
What's his name again?
Orlando.
It's been a while. It takes me back.
Names.
Delita, Ramza. What are their names?
I can't pronounce these names.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can. Yeah, it's nice to play Final Fantasy Tactics again for the first time in 9 years, even if it's all in Japanese. Square Enix is taking the PlayStation part of PlayStation Portable so seriously. It's like all the good games I've played on the system lately have been PlayStation games.
Because now that you can download these games on the PlayStation Store for $6, some of them, they come out for full price on PSP, and you're kind of forced to ask yourself,
Well, at
well, is
least
this
they are
worth
making
full price?
At least they are making the effort to add new stuff. There's actually a lot of new stuff
Like a
in
comprehensible plot.
this. Well, it's all in Japanese, so right now it's about a wash with the original translation.
They are promising a new localization,
Right,
which is
right.
good because, as I said before,
It couldn't conceivably be worse.
it is
So-
an incomprehensible game. The PS1 original. Not only is the name of the world able to spelled 3 different ways,
Right.
but like
You have
nothing,
Muland and Murand.
nothing makes any sense. By the end of the game, I really didn't know what was happening. Like when
It has
people,
such a twisting, complicated.
Who knew?
If anything,
plot.
it improves it, I think, the bad translation, just trying to puzzle out what the fuck they were thinking.
Okay, there are things to look forward to beyond just a comprehensible translation. There's new content, including stuff from FF12, which you'll be very excited to see.
Well, sort of. There's like a guy.
They've crammed a couple of more Final Fantasy cameos. There's Balthier from Final Fantasy 12, and then Luso from a game that isn't even out yet, Final Fantasy Tactics A2 for DS.
Oh, right.
Which is, I don't even know if they have a release date for that. Beyond the new characters, there are also new classes. You can create a Dark Knight who's basically Gefgarian. You can use all those sword skills that drain your enemy's health and magic points. And then there's the Onion Knight from Final Fantasy 3, which is basically a tank with no skills but insanely high hit points. And I imagine if you knock his faith down low, he won't take any damage from magic, and so you basically have this indestructible guy walking
So you just
through
ask
everything.
him uncomfortable questions all day?
Yeah, pretty much. And there's also new battles. I've come across at least one new battle that was not in the original game. I thought, this doesn't seem familiar, but it has been a long time since I played it. But I checked it out, and no, like there's a battle sequence before you fight the first Zodiac boss, where you take control of Delita and help him escape from wherever with Ovelia, the princess. And that's new to the game. And apparently there are a lot more further into the game. The first 2 chapters of the game are kind of like meh, but then chapters 3 and 4 have a lot of new content.
There's also a cool new opening cinema, which takes like the hand-drawn art style and like
yeah,
animates
these
it.
are actually
it looks
it's
really,
not just an opening cinema.
Oh, this
It's
throughout.
spread throughout the
That's
game.
cool.
Thing. It's
Like-
got that pencils and watercolors look to it. Yeah, I want to see a whole game done like this.
That would be very nice.
Yeah, I didn't think it would look as good as it does. While it's a better port than Valkyrie Profile was, it still isn't perfect. There are parts that look a little blurry. I felt when you go in towns,
the
you go in
graphics
shops.
are stretched out.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know, I missed the true pixel resolution.
Yeah.
It was a really nice looking game. It still looks okay, but that, and there is a little bit of slowdown before your actions. I mean, the PlayStation game had some slowdown, but this is much more noticeable. It's not enough that it breaks the game. You do notice whenever an enemy attacks, there's like a pause while it sits there, and then it jumps at you. There are a couple of multiplayer modes. There's a Coliseum where you just go up against enemies, and apparently Square Enix is going to have events in Japan where you can go and compete and they have special rules like you can't use calculators because that's basically cheating
they break the game.
Right.
As everyone knows, calculators is the secret to winning a battle in one turn.
Basically, yeah.
Well,
there is the multiplayer head-to-head where you compete against people, and then there's a co-op mode which I haven't unlocked. I think you have to beat the game before you get it, but there's basically 10 special battles where you fight through with another player.
See, that's actually really cool.
And those battles are kind of insane. I've heard one of them you have to fight Cloud, and another one you have to fight 10 Alguses.
Those additions to me make a worthwhile purchase possibly, because otherwise it's kind of.
It would be nice if the multiplayer were Wi-Fi compatible.
Infrastructure? Yeah, right. That's gonna happen.
Yeah. They're not, but it would be nice.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know if I want to play against random people on the internet, because people get really obsessive about this game and go through and try to figure out how to get the best possible stat growth, and it gets a little obsessive.
It's a very deep game. It's been so long, everyone has fond memories of this, so I'm curious, will it really stack up after all these years?
I'm actually enjoying it more than I did, just because I have a better sense of the Final Fantasy world now, like how everything all ties together, so I understand how the spells and skills and so forth work together. Plus there are a lot of plot hooks that led into Vagrant Story and especially Final Fantasy XII. Like all the Zodiac bosses are the summons from Final Fantasy XII. So I'm kind of making those connections again and saying, oh yeah.
So of all the Final Fantasies coming out this year, Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 2, and this...
Of all the rehashes, this is the one to get, definitely.
This is the one to get.
Without a question.
Out of all 18?
Yeah.
However many.
Something like that.
But see, the one that really matters, Crysis Core, which is not a rehash. Probably not this year.
The one that really matters?
The one that really matters.
I'm taking a wait and see on that one.
This is like a sequel to a cell phone game?
No. It's the prequel to
the cell phone game?
To the most revered RPG of all time.
What about revered?
Revered.
Oh, you mean overrated, right.
Oh, God.
That's okay, I know you have a Nomura fetish. So you'll
I know you have a Yoshida fetish, so enjoy your cute little Fisher-Price characters that
I will, thank you.
Enjoy so much.
I think they provide a pleasant layer of abstraction so that you can actually buy the fact that people are taking turns hitting each other.
Killing each other.
Yeah.
Rated T for Teen.
Brooktown High rocks your world all over again. Everything you wanted in high school with everyone you wanted to do it with. She's vain.
Maybe I could show you my passion photos.
Opportunistic.
Something tells Asia she will get a surprise today.
Self-absorbed.
Asia is going to pretend that she didn't hear that.
And tease.
Is it cool if we go to your place?
And you want her bad.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Asia loves shopping, fashion, and anything cutting edge.
Very high fashion.
She just got a brand new convertible to go with her brand new nose.
My nose was super big, but now it totally goes with everything.
You can never be too rich or too gorgeous.
I had no idea you're such a good dancer.
This is high school the right way, your way. Make this senior year something to remember. Brooktown High.
Let's go to the makeout closet.
San Francisco. They're in the office now? Jesus. There you go. Get some soup.
Hey, wait. Hey, have you seen Milky?
Oh, shit. Jesus, Milky? Does he still work here? I haven't seen him in about...
Yeah, real funny. He's in Korea for the StarCraft thing, but I thought he was coming back today. I just want him to come back. Where is he?
Take like 2 copies of Ninja Gaiden and rub them together. Maybe he'll appear. I haven't seen him in weeks.
All right. Thanks for the $1.
I think the future of the Iblis Alliance lies in non-Final Fantasy products.
You mean like Vagrant Story 2?
Like Vagrant Story 2.
So bad if Matsuno weren't in.
What are you doing?
Hey, we're talking about some hot PSP action.
How can you play whatever you're playing on PSP when Ouendan 2 is out?
Come on, this is the first time I've ever used my PSP. Be gentle.
Ouendan?
You're missing out.
That's that like cheerleader baby game bullshit.
What?
Doesn't matter.
Shane.
It's, yeah, I know.
It's a revolution.
Rhythm games need a metronome to masturbate.
Suck so hard at rhythm games.
Oh, really?
I'm just not good. I don't have a lot of experience with the original Ouendan. I've played Elite Beat Agents a lot. I reviewed it, so I played the hell out of it. But Ouendan, you kind of slip past. If I'm not mistaken, I think when we got our import copy, you ran off with it, and I never actually saw it.
Well,
it was you, yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. In the new game, which I also, I guess, stole from this cubicle.
Yeah, you did. You're really.
I'm like a big klepto. Yeah. There's like a new rival team. This sort of fair-skinned, Aryan, romanticized dudes against sort of like the harsher Japanese cheerleaders. And so the town is like divided by a river, and you never really play against the cheerleaders, but you just have two teams for either side of town.
Right. So, I noticed that. I was kind of wondering how that worked.
Actually made the multiplayer a lot harder now. Before it's just you're playing the same game against another person, but now, depending on how well you do, it really, fudges up the other person's buttons. If you're, totally hitting all your marks, then all my buttons shrink and your screen starts shaking. So it's a lot harder to,
So
take your
basically, if you
stylus
suck, you do even worse because.
Yeah, it's just.
That's not cool.
Standard deviation.
I have enough trouble
changes.
playing rhythm games without them shaking the screen at me.
I love that like sort of fan service and like the sort of hyperbole of the whole game because like
what do you mean
I
by
think
fan service?
They made a lot of references to the first game. Like you see a lot of cameos of like the famous characters from the first game, and they have little cameos in the stories.
I haven't seen any Elite Beat Agents cameos though. Is it just Ouendan cameos?
Just Ouendan.
But they should branch out, embrace their American brethren.
I know. They should. They should have like a like a crossover show.
Well, I've seen photos of Elite Beat Agents on sale in Japan at just like regular retail stores.
Really?
Apparently, this game's popular enough that Japanese retailers have started importing Elite Beat Agents so people can play the American version.
Well, that sort of makes sense since it's sort of like karaoke, cheesy American songs.
Right. I mean, I can appreciate this game in Japanese because I don't always understand what's going on. Like that one with the like brown-haired schoolgirl and the blonde schoolgirl, I think, who gives her a rose.
The choir girl.
Is that a cross-dresser?
That was
a weird sapphic love thing?
That was one of the first stories I
don't
played.
understand, but I mean, I'm playing the rhythm stuff and I'm getting along okay, and I don't think it really matters. It's just
the homoeroticism of that one was a little bit.
It was very
eyebrow raising.
Yeah.
I think the stories in Ouendan 1 are a little bit quirkier, and I think the music in Ouendan 1 is also a little bit more quirkier. I feel like this one has a little bit more like pop elements, which is, totally okay.
I know people rave about the first Ouendan's music, and it's good, but I didn't have a problem with anything that they put in Elite Beat Agents. Like, it turned music that I normally would hate into something that I could actually enjoy.
Like.
I mean, I didn't think I'd ever enjoy Material Girl or Skater Boy. I like them within the context of the game. I still can't listen to them on the radio, but in the game, I'm like, yeah, great. So this is kind of the same thing. I don't know any of these songs. They're all J-pop. But it's fine. They rock out. They're good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay.
The new animations are a lot more like dramatic.
The graphics are a lot more refined. I mean, the cheerleaders themselves look better, but then the world map is like, this actual 3D thing that you can just move around with a stylus. And it's not like the globe in Elite Beat Agents, which was actually a little hard to navigate. This is basically just a flat map with
like
3D elements, and it looks really nice.
I like my favorite addition to the animation is when you're playing the story, you see the person like being stressed out and needs the Ouendan's help, and there starts this like weird lightning thing, and it flashes, and he's like, Ouendan! And then it's like they come in.
Okay, so I guess you're right. I should stop playing so much Final Fantasy Tactics and get back to my true roots as a music-loving dork.
You want
some more
say?
Ouendan.
Os!
Do you?
Mission accomplished.
Excellent.
Nintendo's Gamers Day, little pre-E3 event here. A lot of games, mostly mass market stuff. Probably the most like core gamer or game that we're interested in for the Wii is the most gamer game is Mario Strikers Charged.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, actually, I almost gotta apologize because I think I've been saying this is like it's a port with online play forever.
Well, because it looks like the same game in a lot of respects.
First of all, like we haven't really heard much about the game besides like some of the Wii remote functions and the online play. But this is like a full-fledged sequel. Like they added a bunch of new characters. Like you vary up the teams way more. The Wii functionality really works. Like not too complicated. It's exactly what it should be. And then online play is in there as well. And what's great about online play is that
it's not just your friends that you can play against. You can actually...
Thank God! Like, I don't have to have friends in order to play people online anymore. I can be a total loser and still play. Like, you just go and matches you with someone your skill level and you play against each other, which is, like, super nice. Like, still have no voice chat. There's, like, really not, like, any, like, super duper, like, online community. But at least, like, Nintendo's learning.
A little bit. Like, little baby steps. I kind of felt the way you do about Mario Strikers Charged. I've kind of felt that way about Brain Age 2 and also Big Brain Academy, that like, I mean, I felt like they were improvements upon something that I already liked. It doesn't like really redefine it at all, but it's like cool. The new mini games in Brain Age 2, some of them are really great.
Yeah, Brain Age 2, like the thing about the first Brain Age is I enjoyed it for like a week and then I just got kind of bored of it. The mini games are all kind of prosaic, but I feel like the ones in Brain Age 2 are actually a lot more creative. I mean, they really do things that I think, oh, this is kind of clever. There seems to be more language-based mini games in this also, like the word scramble, where you have words that are between 4 and 8 letters long, just kind of circling around, and you have to figure out what those words are, which is pretty basic. But when they're moving around,
it's a lot harder than it sounds like. It's a lot harder than just seeing them jumbled, just exactly. What they're moving. The other one that I really liked was the rock paper scissors, where sometimes it switched back and forth. Sometimes you had to say out loud what beats whatever it's showing. Scissors, you have to say rock. But sometimes it's like you have to lose intentionally, and it like switches your thinking, and it's way harder than you think, and it's actually a lot of fun. In Brain Academy, Wii Degree, I mean it's kind of the same basic framework. It's a little different, just like Brain Academy was for the DS, but I like that there's an online feature where you can send your profile, what you're good at. You're good at visual and not memorization or whatever, and you can send it to your friends so you can play against each other even when you're not both online.
I thought it's been really, really slow to get on the online bandwagon, which a lot of people have complained about, and it is infuriating, but they are kind of slowly moving in that direction, and I feel like they are at least doing things that people want, like with Big Brain Academy, with gameplay that's online completely in Mario Strikers, but especially Pokemon Battle Revolution, which, unlike Diamond and Pearl, doesn't just give you online battles, but it doesn't force you to work with your friends list.
You can either say like, I want to play with a friend, and then you choose from your friend list, or you say like, I want to play with anybody, and then it just matches you up with somebody across the globe, and of course like, you're not talking to each other, you're not communicating, because Billy...
you don't have to worry about child stalkers. I mean, the best you're going to do is like name your character Molesto, and your first Pokemon's going to be named Hey Kid, and the second one's I got some candy.
And then your phone number or your email address after that. That's devious.
You really have to work hard for it, though.
You're like inside the mind of the Poke Molester.
It's criminal profiling, it's my background.
It's cool and disappointing to me at the same time. It's cool the different ways that it works with the DS. I like that you can just pull out your DS. 4 people can pull out their DS, and you're playing a game, and it's just like an on-screen representation of it. I like that. I think it's cool. I think it's cool you can play online against your friends and your enemies, but like the game itself is still super bare bone.
Yeah, I mean, it's still just a Coliseum game where you go and you fight, and there's like 10 different stadiums you have to fight, maybe half a dozen battles, beat the trainer at the end, and that's kind of it.
The big, I think, third-party game here that we're really playing for the first time is Boogie from EA.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I kind of got like mixed messages from it a little bit. Like I thought it was like a dancing game that you kind of followed along with, but it's more of like just create your own combos and
right.
I wasn't really challenged. Like I felt like I was just kind of moving to the beat for the sake of moving to the beat with not really much reward.
Well, it's not in it yet. Like right now, you just move to the beat, and then you have like your boogie meter that fills up. You hold a button, and then you have to do certain moves, more like Dance Dance. That's not in it yet.
It's a very non-EA game. Like it's very surprising. It's being developed in the same studio that Army of Two is being developed at. So I mean,
the aesthetic seems like a kid's game. Like the girl looks like she's like right out of Bratz with a Z, you know. But at the same time, you're like singing and dancing along to like Don't Ya, the song about like I'm gonna freak your, you know, jock or whatever, like how I'm gonna steal you from your boyfriend or whatever. And then there's also like this editing software, which I have to imagine they don't have that in yet, but it has to be super friendly. You can't trade it over online, unfortunately, but like, it's still kind of cool to give kids that option. But it's very for kids. Like kids just kind of want to spaz out with the thing, and it's like if you can do the combos, so much the better. But it's not. I don't think after the hardcore Dance Dance or Guitar Freaks people.
It really fits in with Nintendo's, you know, non-game initiative. But at the same time, I feel like the other non-games they're showing this week, there's still more substance to them than just like flailing around on a stage.
The most excitement that's going to come out of this thing for some people, like Shu and Shane especially, is Planet Puzzle League. You were saying the controls, it does kind of feel like Meteos because you just move blocks. It feels a lot like
Meteos Disney Edition because you turn the screen sideways or the system sideways like with Brain Age, and then you use the stylus to move blocks back and forth. So it's not quite as limited as Meteos, and it's much more about chains. It's not as fast paced.
Well, they threw a ton of options in there though. Like
they really do.
There's like a daily session kind of like Brain Age where you have these challenges that you can only do once a day, and you like track your improvement. You can also save films. You can play locally wirelessly, or you can play over Wi-Fi. You can also save films of like your awesome combos and send them over the net to your friends.
No, I do think it's interesting that this is the first time Nintendo's releasing a Puzzle League game in the US without branding it as something. It's not Pokemon Puzzle League, it's not Dr. Mario and Tetris Attack. Yeah, it's just
even Dr. Mario in Brain Age 2 is not Dr. Mario now. It's like
I mean, it's got the same music, but it's like
it's like Virus Fighter or something like
yeah. I really feel like this event, like there's nothing hardcore here except for maybe Mario Strikers. It's really Nintendo saying, this is our new face. I mean...
Well, and they did say, like Reggie gave a speech at the beginning, like, we're about the core and we're about the mass market.
Right, well,
and what we're seeing here is definitely the mass market, and then we know in the fall they got the core.
Exactly.
The 3 core
Gamers have a very possessive mindset about Nintendo, but Nintendo apparently is like, no, we're bigger than that. And this is kind of the first time they've really had an event that just gears entirely toward touch generation type stuff, toward Brain Academy type things. It's kind of interesting to see like how they're positioning themselves differently. And you're right, at E3 we'll see the stuff for the fall, but the stuff that's coming out this summer is much more geared toward the casual gamer.
Right. It's smart though. I mean, it's another way they're distinguishing themselves from PS3 and 360.
So man, I meant to come grab you before you went to Korea because we knew it was StarCraft 2, right?
Yeah.
We knew.
We knew.
And I had all this awesome StarCraft gear. I was gonna have you get my StarCraft and my Brood War signed by the team. This is like a 4-disc box set of the best matches by this dude Slayer's Box, who's like the best StarCraft player in the entire
Yeah, I'm
world.
pretty sure I saw him in like some of their like highlight reels.
Girls cry when his Goliaths die, you know what I'm saying?
Noes.
Yeah, so anyway, I was gonna have you get it signed by Slayer's Boxer. It puts into perspective why they would announce a game like StarCraft 2 in Korea rather than the US.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a full-on professional sport there. I mean,
how much does something like this cost? I can't believe you own this.
I don't know. It's actually my roommate's. He
really?
bought it, but and he brought it back when
He obviously never wore the shirt.
No, you gotta keep it in mint condition, dude.
Right.
Oh.
If you were hardcores, you'd buy a second box.
You're right.
Yeah. So you can wear the shirt and yet still have it.
Check it out, dude.
Right.
He's got no shirt on.
That's K-Rad. When you're a pro gamer, you are on stage in front of 15,000 people in Korea with the hottest Korean chicks screaming your name, tears running down your face when you get on the stage in your tracksuit. Oh no, he lagged on making his spawning pool. How is he gonna get his Zerglings up in time? You know, like that kind of thing. Like, oh no, he needs a supply depot. Or how are you ever gonna come back from this Slayer's Boxer, right? Like, yeah, guys in this country, they got their own mouse pad.
Yeah.
Oh, you win. Dude, it was crazy in Korea. Like, I had my camera, right? My new camera.
Yeah.
And then I had my mini DV camera in the other hand. And I was on top of the chair, and I'm trying to capture everything on both of these things, you know, on my tippy toes. You try holding this position for like an hour. And then there was one point where I turn around with both cameras. I'm trying to keep my balance, and they see rockets. Like fireworks go BAM! Over the crowd. Here, like in America, they'd never do that shit. I'm so stoked for StarCraft 2. It's been so long since the first. I still play the first 2 games.
You know, it took nothing. It took like my life for ire, you know. And I was like, oh fuck, I need to play this right now. And the graphics look so good.
You know what Blizzard is really good at is their CG trailers.
Yeah.
When I saw that Marine being assembled. That new Marine, Tychus Finlay, and he comes out in the trailer in shackles and like, you know, orange inmate costume. So I asked Chris Siggety, the producer, like, what's up with him? He wouldn't tell me, but he said that, yeah, not all Marines are created equal. And they cut to those quick scenes of like the Mutalisks flying in and the Protoss ships flying in, and then that quick pan of Kerrigan.
Hell, it's about time.
Oh my god, it's so on. I just want to see what happens with Kerrigan. It's gonna be so dope. So dope. It had been so long since StarCraft came out that a lot of people, including myself, were not sure if it would ever happen. I mean, like, lots of people have left Blizzard over the years, so a lot of the guys who worked on StarCraft are working on StarCraft too. We got Dustin Browder, who was one of the lead designers on Command & Conquer games, a lot of other RTSs. He came over. He's injecting some new life into StarCraft.
After the destruction of Ire and the events of Brood War, the Protoss have been forced to adapt.
Just watching the demo video and like some dudes roll out and you're like, whoa, they made the Dragoons look all dark. But those aren't Dragoons. Holy shit.
They created these. These are the Immortals. They have a special type of Protoss shield. It's a hardened shield that activates only when the Immortal is struck by a very powerful attack. You can see the hardened shields are activating now, and they're absorbing most of this Terran fire.
They showed the Zealot's new move, which is a charge move, which is just like the warrior thing in WoW.
Yeah.
The Zealot's charge makes him extremely dangerous against ranged defenders like these Marines.
Oh shit, here comes some Zealots. Oh, they're in my face! Then the new Reapers, the Terran Reapers, the guys who were jumping all over the place. I was like, oh, that was badass.
But then they have those new Protoss units that can do the same. They just like blink from one place to the other. It seems like they're definitely taking into account that players like to use a sort of dropship strategy where they, you know, like you got to come up from the back with your flying units and with like dropships.
That's why you gotta have turrets on the side of your base. But they've been working on this since they finished Frozen Throne, like Warcraft 3.
So it's been a long fucking time.
4 years. What's crazy is that they've managed to keep that StarCraft 2 a secret for 4 years, which is probably a bigger secret than Half-Life 2.
They aren't talking about release dates yet. They aren't even really talking about platforms, although we do know that it's coming to PC and Mac, but I doubt we're going to see like a triple or a 360 version. So it means that, like, you know, this is another one of those games for PC gamers to like look at and point to and say like, look, this is not something that you're going to get on the consoles. I mean, they haven't said anything yet, but I
highly doubt it.
Needless to say, StarCraft 2 looks fucking dope. I know you're looking forward to it. And
seriously, dude, I played like nearly 4,000 games online when back in the day it was StarCraft, then Brood Wars, and then Diablo 2.
Right.
And then I think I probably latched on to Phantasy Star Online a little bit later, and then FF11. But man, because we were going to Korea, I started brushing up. I started playing a lot more StarCraft Online again. God, it's still just as good. The RTS genre has made some advancements in terms of like convenience and not having to keep track of everything, but for the most part, that's one of the most flawless games ever, and it is definitely my favorite game of all time.
And I would say that there are a ton of people that feel the exact same way as you, who think that StarCraft is literally the best game ever made.
Yeah.
And so to see a sequel of that game that both feels new and fresh and looks great, but feels so true to the original, a game which was so competitive as the original StarCraft, especially in places like Korea, man, I think, I just can't wait.
Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear launch detected.
They kept, during my interview with them, they kept emphasizing that they've got a lot of time, and they've said that they're willing to spend as much money and time as it takes to get it right. So definitely not before 2008. I would bet money never until 2008. And if they said early 2009, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I know.
It's okay. It'll be good
whenever
it comes out. It'll be good.
You called down the thunder.